Thank you. Thank you for joining our webinar today. I'm Nick Penniff. I'm Partnership Manager with hellotax. We're hosting a webinar today with our partners from OnBuy.com. If you guys don't know, OnBuy is the fastest growing marketplace in the world, and the actual topic for the webinar is selling opportunities on the world's fastest growing marketplace while automating tax compliance in the Brexit context. The speaker from OnBuy would be Alex Huntley, Strategic Seller Manager, and the speaker from hellotax will be Chris Hara, our Operations Manager with hellotax. Alex will take the lead first, and he'll tell us more about OnBuy and what they're doing for sellers to achieve this huge growth. They hit 800% growth in January, so I'm sure he'll share more about that. Then Chris Hara will tell us more how these sellers can actually stay VAT compliant and what they need to know for cross-border selling post-Brexit in the UK and in the EU. If you guys have any questions, please write your questions in the chat, and Chris and Alex will answer them in the Q&A section in the end. So let's start, guys. Over to you, Alex.
Cool. Thanks, Nick. Just sharing my screen, and thanks for the introduction, and thanks for everyone coming to watch today, both live and are going to obviously watch this on the recording afterwards. It's good to be here, and it's good to be partnered up with hellotax as a platform that's growing internationally. We are faced with a lot of questions from sellers, asking what they need to do to sell cross-border, and as we go into new countries, this is becoming more apparent. And yeah, hellotax are here to sort of save the day on that. And thanks for Nick for banging the drum of our growth, which of course I'm going to also speak about in my presentation, and just talk to you guys about who we are, what we do, and our plans going forward. So what is OnBuy? OnBuy is the world's fastest growing marketplace, as Nick mentioned, and we were essentially founded to give B2C sellers a more fairer, ethical, and transparent way to do business. And I'll touch on those points in a minute of how we achieve that. We're essentially a marketplace that connects sellers to a customer base of millions, and we cover thousands of different product categories, and of course allow sellers to sell everything from tech to entertainment through to furniture, pet supplies, fashion, toys, and of course lots of other product categories. And these are always growing, and we're always looking for more retailers to come on board and help populate these categories and give our customers more choice. We put marketing, fulfillment, and the scalable growth in the hands of our seller community, which allows them to basically focus on expansion and their business development. So we're only 4 years young, and we were founded in 2016 by entrepreneur Cass Payton, and he is still the CEO today. And a key point about our marketplace is that we're a pure marketplace, and what I mean by that is that we're not a retailer. So we don't hold our own stock, we don't sell our own stock, and we never will. So of course, for sellers thinking about joining our platform, it means that they don't have to worry that we're ever going to compete against them. So that's that in a nutshell. Some numbers of our growth. So where we are today, we're currently working with just over 6,000 active sellers on our marketplace, and we have an audience reach of around 8 million customers and counting. This is growing at an incredible pace, and of course, the times of COVID through 2020 and 2021 now have certainly sort of expedited that, and the demand for another marketplace is very apparent. We have at the moment over 30 million products which are currently listed on our platform, and this is set to expand to around 525 million as we go global. It's also worth noting that as a platform, we only work with registered businesses or sole traders, so we don't work with individual sellers. So for a consumer, they know that when they purchase something from our platform, they're supporting a local business through our platform. We're the fastest growing marketplace in the world, and we've achieved 600% year-on-year growth in the last 3 years, and we've grown 24,000% in the last 4 years of our growth journey. And of course, this is increasing massively month on month, and we're internationalizing into 140 countries before year end 2023. And to help tackle that, we're opening up a secondary office in Manchester in 2021, which is going to empower that expansion and be at the forefront of our global growth. And that's to complement our already HQ, which is based in sunny Poole. So why sellers love us, and I guess our USPs of our marketplace. We're growing in popularity with online retailers of all sizes. So we work with small sellers, up and coming brands that want to establish themselves through our platform, and of course some sort of well-known multi-channel retailers and brands as well. So obviously the point I mentioned earlier is that we work with and not in competition against our sellers, which is obviously a big point. For sellers to know that, you know, we're not out there to, you know, undermine them later down in the line. They're at the forefront of our mind. You know, we put all of our efforts into gaining them sales. We're not harvesting their data or anything nasty to sort of go against them. We also offer a level playing field for sellers of all sizes. And you know, what I mean by that, and it comes back down to the transparency side of us, is that it doesn't matter how big a seller is. It doesn't matter, you know, what their name is or how many sales they're putting through our platform. Every seller pays exactly the same commission in terms of fees. So we don't give any preferential rate to any seller of any size. Of course, that means for smaller sellers that, you know, they have a chance to compete on our platform, and you know, larger sellers aren't going to be at the forefront of the top of every page and everything else that goes with it. So again, part of our transparency and something that is always going to stay. In terms of sales fees, we're extremely competitive. We have two different sets of fees to make things simple, so sellers know exactly what they're paying. And we charge 5% for consumer electronics and white goods, and then we charge 9% everything else that falls outside of that. So they're pretty simple, and obviously it allows sellers to be able to price accommodating those selling fees and be very competitive through our platform. We have no listing fees, and we have scalable risk-free marketing for sellers. So sellers can boost their listings to gain additional traction, and you know, it's risk-free in the sense that they're not paying per click of anything like this. It's only when they make a sale, and there's an additional option there for them to gain additional exposure through our platform. We're also the only marketplace in the UK to offer immediate payment. We have a very unique relationship with PayPal that handle all of our buyer and seller protection through our platform, which is 180 days, I believe. And this means that for sellers, as soon as they've sold an item and they've marked that item as dispatched, those funds are released immediately and ready to withdraw. So OnBuy hold none of those funds. It goes directly from the seller, from the customer, sorry, directly to the seller's account, minus the selling fees. And lastly is the boost marketing, which I mentioned earlier, and also another function called sell price, which allows sellers to essentially run their own promotions, run their own deals, and you know, they can work in harmony with Boost, as well as our sort of site-wide promotions that we tend to do on big events like Black Friday, autumn price crash, and Christmas deals as well. Our partnerships and integrations. So we connect sellers to leading integrations and partners to make selling and logistics effortless. We appreciate that, you know, having key integrations is a deal breaker for sellers to onboard onto a new platform, and we are always sort of developing these in-house as quickly as possible to make sure that we have everything that sellers are asking for. We were designed to be scalable and, you know, aim to match sellers' growth as their business expands. And, you know, our partnerships help sellers grow alongside the marketplace. And naturally, as we grow as a platform, so will our sellers. And the integrations that we have can, of course, unlock multi-channel marketing, price control, inventory management, and shipment coordination. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, you know, partners such as hellotax help sellers to remain tax compliant in business, as well as fulfill new best practices in VAT and post-Brexit customs clearing, which is all the fun stuff, which I'm looking forward to Chris explaining more to you. This is the...
Thanks, Alex. Thanks for the presentation. It's very impressive, and actually I'm learning new stuff, which I'm sure all the attendees would enjoy. And the thing is, no, I guess we need fresh air because Amazon is everywhere, so we need new companies like you guys to make them shake and worry about the other company. So obviously, no, Alex shared what you can do with OnBuy, how you can grow, and once you grow, you make a lot of sales, you hit these revenues, and then there is an unpleasant surprise. You need to pay taxes. You need to be VAT compliant, and this is where Chris, our operations manager, comes in. Okay, Chris, tell us about how the sellers can be compliant after they start selling and they expand. Over to you, Alex. Chris.
All right. Let me then do the screen sharing of the presentation on my side. Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Nick. And now to the part that we prepared from hellotax side. Let me just run the presentation. Well, starting from general points, why do you actually register for VAT? Well, mostly there are the reason is the storage. Yeah. So the moment you actually are storing any goods in a given country, you should be VAT registered. The other reason is the distance selling threshold limit, and that's something that is now still valid for EU, although it will slightly change from 1st July. Currently, it's still set up as it was, and those two reasons are the main ones to register currently. There is some exception to that in regards to UK rules and the activity of non-UK sellers in UK, but for that I will just mention it on in another place. Let's say, yeah. Going to the let's say the changes, the general changes for sellers. Well, Brexit means that basically you have two regions of doing business. You have the UK and you have the EU. Both of them are not that connected anymore as they were. So any goods do not travel between those two regions smoothly. You know? You kind of need to think about having another marketplace, completely other marketplace, like, I don't know, it's the same, almost the same, like you would be now opening Australia, let's say, yeah. The goods that travel between UK and EU are considered as import-export actually transactions. Okay, so that is the biggest change that you have to consider after the Brexit. Now, how would you like, or what is the thing that you have to keep in mind if you are a UK-based business and you would like still to do the business in Europe? Yeah. Obviously, there are ways to still sell B2C in a B2C type from UK to Europe in a way that you are actually making an export from UK and your buyer is making an import to EU. But putting that aside, because this is something which leads to additional procedures that the customer has to do and additional costs of customs and import taxes. Basically, the best, or the one that is the most practical one is to have a storage place inside EU. Well, there are certain things that you have to keep now in mind in regards of customs. And actually the easiest and the smoothest model that helps you to import your goods to EU. So whenever you think about moving your goods from UK to EU, or actually you are importing them from your supplier, the model would be, the best one would be to have actually a EU registered company. Yeah. If you do not have it, there might be some additional obligations in regards to customs. So if you are just VAT registered, let's say you have your UK company VAT registered, there might be some additional requirements in regards to customs. And there are procedures that actually need to be handled by the custom agent. And the other thing is that being a non-EU company can mean in some countries, the list that we currently have says that only Poland is the one that requires fiscal representative when you would like to register. A UK company would like to register in Poland. In majority of countries, that was not yet, or it's not yet a mandatory requirement, but this thing can change as well. Looking at it from the other perspective, so if you are actually a EU-based company and you would like to do the business in UK, we actually think that the best model is the mirror of the previous one. So the best and the easiest model is to have a UK-based company. Then you can do the imports yourself to that company, and you can actually have a much better control over your VAT payments. Now, there is something specific in UK that changed from 1st January 2021, and that change is actually just on the side of UK. EU will launch something similar to that from 1st July 2021. Now, what are those requirements? What are those changes? Basically, any in regards of imports, let's start from the small imports, so the ones that are below 135 pounds. Those ones will be handled by online marketplace. So let's say that if the marketplace has also stocks, if it's actually handling your the delivery, the logistics, then it also will be applicable, or will be the one collecting your VAT. Now, if you are a non-UK company, when you do business through an online marketplace, also here the VAT will be charged by that marketplace. Still, if you would do any sale outside of the marketplace, like with our partners OnBuy, they are not controlling your stock, as far as I understood, Alex, right?
Yes, we don't handle the stock.
Exactly. It's a valid point, I think, to mention here on the call as well. So if you have any sales done through OnBuy, those obligation of calculating and charging VAT still lay on your side. If you would be using multiple platforms to do the sales, like you can use Amazon and you can use OnBuy as well, then from one side you will have to think about the report that is coming from Amazon, where most of the VAT, or the biggest part of the VAT is collected. And on OnBuy, whatever you sell, you have to actually still pay, and you have to combine those two sources, obviously in one report, because it's just one report that should cover one period. There are some exclusions from it. It's mostly B2B sale, which is still it follows different logic. There is this threshold of 135 pounds as well, where under which the transactions are under reverse charge, and above they follow the logic of still being charged. So the fact here is that you have to consider those changes whenever you plan to either expand to EU or keep EU, if you are a UK-based company, and the other way around. All those changes, they have actually a big impact on your business model, or can have a big impact on your business model, depending how you design it before the Brexit. And that's actually it from our side in that matter. I think we have now the time to do some questions. Nick?
Yeah, actually, we have several questions from the tennis. So let's start with with Alex first. So the first question is, just give me seconds here. When will all OnBuy be available in Germany? That's the first question for OnBuy.
Good question. So our first countries that we are going into will be Ireland, USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Hong Kong, UAE. and key European countries will be coming in late 2021. You're completely right. At the moment, someone in Germany will, of course, have to find a product on the OnBuy website and obviously order it that way. But later in the year, hopefully, we can share some news on that soon. We will obviously have a domestic marketplace in Germany, which will allow sellers to, of course, sell over there, and likewise for those European countries to have their own OnBuy marketplace as well. So hopefully we can share news soon. We've got a list of the initial sort of 10, but with there being translation of products and things like that, it's a little bit more complicated. So hopefully we can share soon some news for you. So sorry I can't answer the question completely, but it will be coming.
Another question for you, Alex, from one of the attendees. No, they're already approved to sell on OnBuy, and they have questions about that. Can they fulfill their UK orders by Amazon multi-channel? This is what they're asking.
Sure. It's obviously not an ideal situation, and we would of course hope that you could move away from that. We're slightly different in how we operate as a marketplace, where we don't have our own fulfillment centers. So the 30 million products that are currently available are currently fulfilled by our sellers, either themselves or through their own logistics or fulfillment centers. We've partnered up with around 14 different fulfillment centers at the moment. And each country that we go into, we're building up relationships to ensure that sellers have a place, if they choose to pick one of our vetted fulfillment partners to handle and, of course, distribute their stock. So whilst it is possible, yes, it's not an ideal situation, as we, of course, don't really want an OnBuy order coming in an Amazon package, of course. So yeah, it's something that we are trying to eliminate, but of course it does happen.
Okay, actually we have another question from Foreign Tubi. I think you just covered that. I mean, as a seller, would I be responsible for the fulfillment to my customers, or will OnBuy do that? So obviously no, you just answered no, that you guys don't do the fulfillment at this point.
No, we don't do the fulfillment at this point. But like I say, we've got a partners page on our marketplace homepage at the very bottom, and you can see our current fulfillment partners within that space. All of them do different things. So some are, larger products, some may be smaller and larger inventories. They all kind of vary and have their own unique selling points. And at the moment, if a seller needs any of these services, we typically just direct them to some of our partners within that space that are, of course, integrated with our systems. So any OnBuy order will, of course, be pulled directly into there and fulfilled by that fulfillment center.
Okay, one question for Chris. I am a UK business. Do I need to establish a business in the EU to sell to customers? And if yes, why? I think we covered that, but let's just summarize it.
Yeah, let's explain that part. So it's not something that you really have to do in order to do trade, to let's say sell to customers in Europe. It's just something that if you don't do that, your offer might be less attractive than others that are established in Europe, because your clients would need to import those products. They would need to, let's say there might be some customs, there might be some importing tax, depending on the value of the parcel and the product that you are actually selling. So it is more, let's say, more expensive for the customer. It can be more expensive. Definitely, there are more procedures, and the shipment time is much longer. So if you don't have it and you do the sale from UK, you can still do that. But you might be less competitive. That's
one question from Anthony Watson for OnBuy for Alex. Who is the best person to contact in terms of working with those partners? Does OnBuy have like a partner team, or how they can actually get in touch with these fulfillment partners?
Sure. In first instance, happy for you to drop me a message, and I can obviously help you with that and sort of show you around and who we're working with. So if we can share sort of contacts at the end of this. I'm not sure if it's part of any material we're sending out, but yeah, please reach out to me, and obviously I can help you.
Thanks, Alex. Another one for you. If two different sellers are listing the same product, for example, a camera, will the product have two product pages, or is the buy box given to the most competitive offer?
Yeah, so we operate a Amazon similar model. So that is a catalog system. So there is one product per unique barcode, where of course multiple sellers can list on the same listing. With an instance like that, it's not just done on price, with who would essentially win the lead box. We call it a lead box, not a buy box over here, to shake things up a bit. But it takes into consideration where the seller's shipping from, whether they offer free delivery, how long that product takes to arrive, the seller's feedback, and of course price as well. And with any refurbished items, it will also take into consideration the warranty period as well. So it's a whole algorithm there, which determines who will win the lead box. So it's not just done on price. So it's certainly not just a situation where it's lowest price wins and it's a race to the bottom.
Another question actually is for, I'm sure both of you know the answer, but as a marketplace, will OnBuy collect VAT and remit to the HMRC? Obviously, no, not. I can answer this question as well. So Leonardo,
as mentioned,
okay,
yes,
so
as mentioned, to be an online marketplace by the definition of those changes that were now introduced, you actually have to also control the stocks.
Yeah. We act a little differently to other marketplaces, where firstly we're not merchant of record, and we don't handle the payment, as it doesn't go through us at all, and also, like Chris just mentioned there, we don't handle the stock either, or movement of goods.
Okay, guys, let me see. Another question from Rosalina. Who is defining what the lead time is until when the product is sent to the customer? Is it an automated algorithm, or is the seller defining it? That's for you, Chris.
Oh, was that one for me? Sorry.
Exactly, that's for you.
Okay, yeah, sure. So each seller sets up their own delivery templates for their products. So they can indicate exactly how long something is going to take to arrive, and they can have standard delivery, they can have priority delivery. They can also assign different delivery templates for different products. So you may have bulky products, in which case you can assign a different delivery template to them, saying it's going to cost X amount per item, per order, per weight. They're fully customizable. As a marketplace, we do not say when a product should arrive. This is completely down to the seller to set their own delivery terms and handling times and things like that.
Another question to Chris from Terry Parkinson. If you sell B2C in several different EU countries, would you need a separate VAT registration in each country?
Can you repeat that?
From Terry Parkinson, no, that's a question for you. If you sell B2C in several different EU countries, would you need a separate VAT registration in each country?
Well, is the question for a UK-based company? Is that the question?
Yeah, I think it's for UK company.
Yeah, if it's a UK company, no, it's not that. It's actually in that model that we are promoting. Let's say you have to have at least one EU company, and that EU company would be registered in those countries where you do B2C sale. Only after you met the threshold limit for that country, considering that you are not storing in those countries, obviously. If you are just an UK business that you would like to make B2C sales to EU, then again, you don't have to be VAT registered as long as you are acting in that transaction as an exporter. So you are just exporting those goods, and the client in EU is handling all those customs related duties. Just in the bracket, let's say, most of the cases it's actually the delivery company, so DHL or whatever, they are cooperating with the client, with the buyer on all the paperwork.
Another question from Rosalina for you, Alex. Maybe she missed that, but do you use brand registry to protect brands on OnBuy, and do you plan to launch a B2B opportunity?
Sure. Yeah, so another spin on words, we have something called brand ownership, which is similar to, of course, brand registry. So if a seller has a UK or EU trademark for their brand or brands, then when they have an account with OnBuy, they can apply for brand ownership by submitting a UK or EU trademark number. And from there, they can indicate whether they want to be other resellers selling their brand or not. If they don't, then we can, of course, get them removed from those listings. And as a brand owner, you, of course, have sole responsibility of those listings. So you won't need to have anything go through us to be changed. They're your listings. And yeah, ultimately means that we can protect your brand from any other third-party seller coming on and potentially listing that brand. With the B2B opportunity, not sure, to be honest with you. There's lots of other things going on at the moment. So I would say just keep an eye out on what we're up to. At the moment, we're quite focused on our launch of countries and also expanding our marketing efforts here in the UK. So yeah, on the back burner. So hopefully just keep an eye out on what we're doing, and hopefully we can yeah, shed some light.
Another question, actually, that's for you, Chris. I mean, from an anonymous attendee. What about shipping DDP where I pay the import taxes? I'm not sure if it's DDP or
delivered duty paid. Well,
okay.
Yeah, that means that you are actually the importer. So if you are the importer to EU, you have to have obviously an EORI number here. Here, as I was mentioning, there might be some customs agent services required if you're in a UK business that would like to do this kind of transaction to EU. And there are other ways that I was just mentioning, this opening the other company in Europe, and that company could be the importer. So let's say you have two companies, you do the export from the UK company, import to the EU company, UK company export, EU company import, and then the products to the final client. And that might be an option. There might be an option of a branch, and there might be an option of customs agent that you might use. Yeah.
One question actually for you again, Chris, so from Jared. So hi, you say that the UK business would need to store its products in the EU to continue selling in the EU. What would happen if you don't store it in the EU, and if your goods are manufactured in the UK, shipping them in a warehouse in the EU could be a mess, and in the current situation with red tape? So this is what Jared is saying.
Well, again, here, if you are actually purchasing something which is unique for UK, and therefore it's not available in EU, then I think from your business model perspective, it might be okay to just export it from UK, because you will anyway find the people that would like to buy it, because it's, you know, it's not present in EU. But if that's a product that can be easily purchased as well in EU, then definitely you have to consider to be storing in EU. I didn't say, maybe there was a confusion, I didn't say you have to. It's just advised to have a storage in EU, and it's advised to have a smooth selling stream, let's say, yeah, when the client's actually buying from you, and you can ship it, deliver it to them within a reasonable time, in a competitive time, let's say, yeah. So in such case, still having an EU company which does the import, and maybe also in this case, I would say also purchased it from your supplier directly, okay, then you would have the import to EU, and from your EU company, you would sell that product in that region. Yeah?
Thanks, Chris. One question is like from Rosalina again. So that whenever, so does it mean that wherever a brand owner is not wanting a 3P seller to list, you will stop them from listing?
Yes. So if a brand specifically comes on board and wants to apply for brand ownership and eliminate other third-party sellers from selling their brand, then of course they can. Some brands choose to have third-party sellers selling alongside them for various reasons, but others want them to have sole exclusivity selling through our platform, in which case that's fine. And we can of course put things in place to make sure that your brand isn't being presented as you would like, and things like that, and you're the only seller selling that branded product through our platform.
Okay, thanks, Alex. Another question for Chris from Rosalina. Do you recommend to do a FOB or DDP from China to the EU and UK?
Well, actually, in case of FOB, the part that I would say is the most convenient one from the client perspective, your client perspective, would be the DDP, because every import tax is already paid, and then it's a much simpler transaction. Yeah. So in this case, yeah, I would say you should have, or that's the most convenient way for your clients, okay, which will be a model that I think will be the most common one as well, because of the best conditions for clients, will be that you have a UK company, you have a EU company, and you do the import to UK from China, and you do the import to EU from China. No?
Okay, one other question from another attendee. Who do sellers consult to register a company in the EU?
Who do sellers consult to register a company in EU? To register a company, I guess you meant to establish a company, right? Because
Yes,
this registration, we in hellotax we use it in regards of VAT registration, obviously, right? So if that's the topic, then us, okay. If establishing a company, there are specialized companies that help out in this kind of registrations. There are some countries where actually registering a company is, let's say, not that complicated. Okay, it's some people do that themselves. I know that those countries are, example, UK. UK is one of those countries, and in EU, the country that is the most common one is Lithuania, as far as I was actually.
In Estonia, actually, we have a partner. It's called
Estonia as well. Yeah. Okay.
E-Residency. It's an Estonian startup, so it's a government startup where you can simply get an online ID card, and then you can establish an EU company. So
yeah, there are, let's say, you can have a lot of choices actually here, and if you consider it, actually, I would advise personally, if I would be opening a company, I would mostly go for the country where the corporate income taxes are the most friendly ones for me. Yeah? And for that, I would rather consult it with a company that is specialized in establishing companies and choose the best one for me. Yeah. Here.
Okay, thank you, guys. I think we don't have any more questions. So, if you guys have more questions, now we'll send you an email after the event with the actual recording. So just if you have any more questions, you can get in touch with Alex, with us, and we can answer them. And if you have any other inquiries, Alex and hellotax, we have a lot of partners in our ecosystem. So if we don't offer something, we can recommend somebody who can help you out. So that's the idea as well. So thank you, Alex. Thanks you, Chris, and thanks for everybody attending the webinar. I'm hoping that we have helped you out and answered most of your questions, and we'll have other webinars because obviously there is hot topics after Brexit. So if there is anything, we'll let you know so we can attend and get all the benefits from these smart guys here. today, Alex and Chris. So thank you guys again, and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Cheers.
everyone.